Zay Flowers has had big performances in back-to-back weeks now, leading the NFL in receiving yards in Week 6 and finishing 9th in receiving yards in Week 5. Zay Flowers has begun an ascension that many people have been waiting on. The big reason for that is the change in what routes Baltimore is having Zay Flowers run compared to earlier this year and even last season. Prioritizing getting Flowers deep and allowing him to use his speed and top-tier change of direction to win in more routes has led to him earning more high-value targets and thus more yards. This has also led to him being top 5 in separation in weeks 5 and 6. Let's dive in.
What? Why are you shaking your head?
You're welcome.
Zay Flowers, week 6. Let's take a look. So the big thing is, this year compared to last year, and even earlier in the season, is that Zay Flowers' targets are coming a little bit differently. They've started to take away a lot more of the design screens that he had last season, and they're starting to allocate some of that, some of the hitches. His hitch route rate is down by about 9%. His screen rate is down about 4%, and he's seen some increases in his out route run rate and his crosser run rate. Those have both gone up by about 4% so far this season. Small margins, but in the grand scheme of things, that 4%, could lead to an extra target or two. And so like on this one, you'll see why have they given him more out routes? Because he's really good at them. As you can see at the top of his break, if you look right there, he's into his break and already looking back before the corner really even realizes it. This gives him an advantage. It's second down, boom, first down. Keep the chains moving. This one is more of a setup. This play is more of a setup for later on in the tape here. But, they're trying to get him more on crossers. It's let's get Zay moving across the field, using his speed, using his change of direction, and allowing him to kind of win in space. And instead of doing it in screens like they were last year, they're trying to do it more a little bit on crossers. And so you'll see here, the defense plays it really well, and Bateman comes open on the backside, and that's going to happen a lot. And it's a reason that Bateman's been getting targeted more, and it's a reason that Zay Flowers has helped out this entire thing by having him run deep more because defenses have to allocate more resources to him. Look at that. 3 guys drop into the zone where Zay comes into, and it just leaves Bateman one-on-one. Zay doesn't get a win there, but it just kind of shows what they're trying to do. So now this play, we have Zay motioning across formation. Lamar probably sees man coverage, tries to, rotate the play, switch the play. Okay, let's get man coverage. We didn't get it, but we still have Zay running a crosser, and it's still, again, similar to that last play, it opens up that backside dig route to Bateman, and the safety recognizes that. He has an open hole. Lamar gets sacked. But again, it's let's get Zay Flowers moving in space. Let's make the defense defend him deep. Let's make them allocate defensive resources to making sure that Zay Flowers doesn't get open across the middle. Okay, I like it. It's showing a growth in what Baltimore's trying to do. While they've taken away some of the hitch routes from him, he's still really good at hitch routes. And you'll see here, he, gets 2-3 steps of separation. Unfortunately, or fortunately, he plays with Bateman, who's also one of the best separators in the NFL. And they end up going to Bateman, who gets just as much separation at the top of the screen. Zay Flowers, he has a great change of direction. He has good speed, and it threatens corners early and often. It makes them, it forces a decision before they want to really make it. So here you have, again, we're going to have Zay run another crosser. Let's try and condense the formation. And, Lamar sees a single safety over the top. Guy motioned in with Aguilar. So, all right, we got man coverage. That means that I probably have Zay one-on-one. Boom, he breaks it off and then fights back towards the ball, which is really big, and he's very good at doing that. And I touched on it earlier in the year with Bateman, and it must be something that Baltimore teaches the receivers. They're really good at coming back to the ball. And so, he has a step of separation, but then he even creates a little bit more separation by stepping back to the ball, allows him to make a move. Boom, big play. So it's really Baltimore trying to get him in space more often and across the field. Here we go again. This time, we have him on a dig with a crosser clearing the middle of the field. Zay, again, what he does really well, he breaks off his route really well, gets himself a step, and then when the ball comes to him, he fights back towards the ball. That creates that extra step of separation, makes it less of a, potential contested catch situation. And again, he's really good after the catch. It's really a lot about Baltimore. Let's try and get, like I said, let's try and get Zay Flowers open across the middle. Down at the bottom, they motion the running back out. Linebacker follows. All right, we got man coverage. The ball does not go to Zay Flowers here, but what he does really well is he knows I've been breaking my routes off in, out, and back. I haven't really run a go route all day. So let's fake the break, get the corner flat-footed, and then blow by him. Lamar ends up going to the other side, but he had Zay Flowers on the backside here wide open. Safety probably would have rotated over, but he could have put it out toward the sideline. It's still a really good route. And it's the growth that Zay Flowers has shown, is his ability to set up his routes, his ability to set himself up to get open. And again, Washington in this game ran 66% almost man coverage. So it lended to a lot of, these concepts coming open, and especially Zay Flowers coming over the middle. It seemed like they were trying to spy Lamar a little bit, but they constantly kept hitting these big crossing route combinations. And it was almost always Zay Flowers having like the number one read crosser. Again, here, he's really good at breaking off at the top of the routes here. You can see right here, he leans in, breaks out, gets himself a step. Even with the ball thrown behind him, he still has a step that's not even a contested catch. Top of the screen, Zay Flowers, he motions in. What is it? It signals that we might have man coverage. So, boom. What do? We look to the number one read over to the right. It's covered, but Zay Flowers does a good job of slow playing his route, making the corner guess on where he's going to go. Fights through underneath, gets a lot of open space coming across the middle. It's really awesome to see what Baltimore has done with the passing game and how they've opened things up for Flowers, and how Flowers is kind of instinctively, because of the attention he's gotten, especially these last 2 weeks, it's opening up stuff for other guys. Andrews motions over. Nobody goes with him, so it's not man coverage this time, but we still get, a cover 3 look. And Zay Flowers helps open this up. He runs a great corner post route. And because the linebacker hasn't really been running out to the hook to curl as heavily, just to kind of keep Lamar contained in the run game, it opens Andrews wide. It opens Andrew up big time. The safety has to respect Flowers deep, because if he lets Flowers go, which, he already has him by his step, he can't let that, that deep cop route be open, and it just opens that space for Andrews. I love the spacing and the way and the route combinations that Baltimore has been using. I think that it's really good. And so this is actually a mirror from a play earlier. Same side. This time they actually motion likely out. And now they've run it a couple times. They have Zay Flowers coming on a crossing route. And on the last couple of plays, what Baltimore had done is they were having Bateman actually run the dig route behind it. And this time, if you watch the corner that's lined up over Bateman, he thinks that's exactly what it is. So he's trying to play it. He's trying to jump it. He thinks that Bateman's going to run an in route. Instead, this time, Bateman hitches up. He's wide open in that hole because of what they set up earlier in the game. And again, they had been hitting Zay Flowers with over routes a lot, so they have to respect that. And then that dig has come open a couple times too. Lamar just wasn't able to get to it a couple times. And so this time, Baltimore has Bateman hitch up here. I know this is a Flowers video, but again, it's just really cool what Baltimore's been doing to, and especially in this game, to get guys open and to, build upon the plays that they had been running throughout the game. Now, I talked about the screen volume coming down, but they still want to get him screens going. The difference this year is that he's averaging a target per screen route. So when he runs a screen route, it's intentional, and usually the ball's going to him. Last year, they were at about 0.6 targets per route run on screen design routes, so they weren't getting it to him as much. And now, they see the blitz on the outside, leaves Flowers wide open. Great play, gets great blocking. He's really good at screen routes. He's really good at running after the catch. And so knowing that, they've seen the evolution in his route running. They're trying to get him across the field more. They're trying to, open the field a little bit more for him, and they're using him to open other people up too. Again, they still love these designs, and Zay Flowers is really good getting the ball in his hands and running after the catch. Just a small jet pass, but it's kind of shown what they've wanted to build upon, where now they feel better about his route running and everything, and they think that he can win more over the middle and win deeper. Now, I mentioned in the beginning of the video that Zay Flowers getting more high value targeted routes. And, if you look at his raw numbers, his ADOT without screens hasn't really changed a bunch. And overall, his numbers look pretty similar to last year. But where the difference is that on non-screen routes, he's now being targeted almost 7% more, which, take that over the course of the season, that's going to be, close to 10 targets. And those targets are now coming further downfield. His crossing route ADOT has gone up by 2, and they're just prioritizing putting him in situations that he's going to excel in. He's one of the best separators on out routes. He's one of the best separators on crossing routes. And now they're trying to allocate some of those, what you might say are lower value routes, those hitches and, maybe screen routes. And they've started to put those into the out routes and into the crossing routes, just getting him moving, getting him, really pressing the defense and getting him to, utilize his change of direction ability. Zay Flowers is going to continue to break out this year. I think that these first 2 weeks are just the beginning. I know it was Washington and Cincinnati, two teams that have struggled against the pass. But as you can see, Baltimore's doing a great job of building off their passing concepts, and it's created more targets for Rashad Bateman, who I believed was deserving of more. And it's even meant more targets to Zay Flowers because they've seen the ability for him to break open and the ability that he has running across the field. He's so good at climbing back to the ball. And I think it's only going to continue. I really like the Zay Flowers stock. I really like what the Baltimore offense is doing. It feels like a growth that we had been waiting for a long time. And so expect this Baltimore passing offense to continue rising and continue doing well.